I questioned Mr. O'Connor, the executive director of the Sloper Willen Ambulance Service, about Tawana's condition upon their arrival on the scene where Tawana was found. And this is what he had to say.
Ms. Brawley, according to the report, was found in a unconscious, unresponsive state. The ambulance crew determined that she did not react to painful or verbal stimuli, which means that they tried to arouse her by just, calling, not her name because they didn't know her name at the time, but saying, "Are you all right? Are you okay?" and shaking her, see if she responded to that. It's a typical practice, a normal practice, and it's taught in EMT courses, paramedic courses, but also in regular CPR courses. You want to determine if the person is unconscious, and she didn't respond to that. The next step would be to either do some sort of painful stimuli test, which would be either just pinch the skin or something along that line. And the third test that they did was to open up a ammonia capsule and run it underneath her nose, and she did not respond to that. So at that point, we put her into a category of unconscious, unresponsive, unknown etiology or unknown origin. We don't know why she was in that condition, and we treated her according to the standard practicing protocols.
Did she condition from the time she was picked up to the time she was dropped at St. Francis Hospital?
The report just states that from the time Ms. Brawley was picked up at the scene, during the transportation to the hospital, she started responding in a way that she was moving around, she was breathing better, her blood pressure. Somewhere en route from the time we left the place where she was picked up to until we got to St. Francis. So the time that she was in the ambulance, she started, quote, coming around this somewhat. She did not regain consciousness, she did not start speaking, she was not verbal, but she started to move around as opposed to when she was first found, and she did not respond in any way, shape, or form.
For relative to death, where would you say, this is for people who do not understand all the jargon and terminology in the medical community, on a scale to 1 to 4, relative to death, where would you say?
Okay, if 4 being death,
right,
and 1 being conscious and alert,
right,
she was probably at a 2.5.
2.5.
2.75.
And that's serious.
It's serious enough that she had to get to the hospital, yes.
Okay, now the pulse rate. We've heard a lot about the pulse rate. Would you comment on that, please?
Sure. The pulse, I forget the exact wording on the report, but I know they check for a carotid pulse, which is the pulse on either side of your neck, which brings blood to your brain. So the reason we go for a carotid is one, it's one of the biggest arteries that we can get to, and it has easy access. The report states that they had a hard time finding the pulse. That she had a pulse, not that she didn't have it, they just had a hard time locating it. Then later on in the call, when they were able to get her into the ambulance and do a better assessment, they got a decent pulse, and they were not concerned with that after that.
Now, were her fingernails in any particular condition?
Her fingernails were what they call cyanotic, which is they had like a blue tint to them. And again, that could be a couple of different things. One is the reason you become cyanotic is there's a lack of oxygen in your system. Or 2, it could be, again, because
Mr. O'Connor whether he and his staff believes something happened to Tawana, and this is what he said.
I think from the records and everything I've looked at and all the people I've spoken to, something happened to Tawana Brawley. What happened, who did this, how it happened, I don't know. That's not for me to find out. But I think
you do know
the way she... No,
something
I do know that something happened to Tawana Brawley. That I don't think that she was in a condition where people saying that she's faking everything. I don't think that happened. I think that something unfortunately happened to Tawana Brawley, and our job was to take care of her medically, which is what we did, and get her to the hospital, which is what we did. And that's probably the bottom line. From our side, it's the bottom line, because the Tawana Brawley case was a 15-year-old girl that something happened to, and we treated her.
Now, the gentlemen who were on the scene, have they commented? Have they given opinion relative to her condition, whether or not they believe something happened?
The only comments that they're making are the official comments they make, on the record and things like that, and they feel that something happened to Tawana Brawley.
Very good.